I'm in the George Washington National Forest, and this is Fort Edward Johnson, which was the site of some Confederate breastworks. You can see the sign there. That's a view looking to the west. I'll go over there and get a few still pictures. This is at the top of Shenandoah Mountain. And but I'm not going to look at the breastworks today. I'm gonna head over this way and see if I can find the trailhead for the Shenandoah Mountain Trail. And I'm going to hike the Shenandoah Mountain Trail north, which is in this direction, for 2 or 3 miles, and see if I can get to the former location of the Sexton Shelter. It's not there anymore. But my understanding is the chimney still stands, and it's supposed to be a real pretty area. So I'm planning to just hike up there and take a break and then hike back. The elevation here, oh, there's my little red car. Almost forgot to mention him. The elevation here is 2,900 feet. .1 miles into my hike. I'm following the Shenandoah Mountain Trail here. You see it here. I'm at 2980 elevation. This trail runs along the ridgeline of the mountain for the most part. I mean, right here it's going around a little mountain here, but there's the actual ridge. So we're following the ridgeline. And let's see, this is where I came from. More of an open area back there. The more open it is, the more overgrown it is. And then it drops down pretty steeply here off to the west. That's looking to the west. And then here's looking to the north. This is the way I'm headed. I don't know, it's about another mile or so to the next turnoff. 1.5 miles into my hike. I'm up to 3,010 feet elevation. And this is the intersection with the road hollow trail. It heads off down the side of the mountain. It's pretty steep there too, and it heads down to, there's a creek down there called Ramsey's Draft. And this area is known as the Ramsey's Draft Wilderness Area. I don't know if I'm formally in it being up here on this ridge or not. That's where I came from. This trail's still running along the ridge here. It's a fairly narrow ridge. I mean, from here I can see to the east and to the west. So there's Road Hollow, but we're going to continue on straight this way for a ways further. And this part of the sign going straight ahead says Jerry's Run and US Highway 250. Now Jerry's Run is where we're going to turn, and we're going to follow Jerry's Run Trail. When we get up here, we're going to turn to the right and follow Jerry's Run Trail for a few tenths of a mile, and we should run into the site of the old Sexton Shelter. That's where I'm planning to stop. .5 miles into my hike. My elevation is 3180, and this is, I'm not at the Sexton Shelter yet. I'm still on Shenandoah Mountain Trail, but this is a real nice camping area here. I mean, it's all cleared out. Maybe you can see that trail. That takes you back out to the Shenandoah Mountain Trail. But I mean, you come in here and you got trees. It's a little bit on a slope. Okay, I'm holding my camera more or less level, so it's that much of a slope. Not too bad, but it's nice. Look at this. There's still firewood here left over from people who have collected firewood. Here's the fire ring right here. Pretty nice area. Now, as far as I know, this is not in Shenandoah National Park. This is Shenandoah Mountain. I mean, I'm 25, 30 miles west of Stanton, Virginia. I'm west of Interstate 81. So, pretty nice area. I'm going to mark this on the on my map, because this is a legit campsite. Okay, right back there's that camping area I told you about. Come back out on the trail, and here's a sign saying I'm going into a wilderness area. So this is likely Ramsey's Draft Wilderness. It doesn't say that. It says National Forest Wilderness Area. Closed to motor vehicles, motorized equipment, hang gliders, and bicycles. So I'm going to continue on. We'll be turning off pretty soon onto Jerry's Run Trail. Well, I'm not quite to the turnoff yet, and I look to the left, and here's another camping area. It's got a fire ring right here. So pretty nice area. Here's a whole ton of dead wood. If you cut it up, you can burn it. And then the trail's down there. So the first hiking north, the first campsite's on the right and this one's on the left. .6 miles into my hike. The elevation here is 3170. And as soon as you pass that second campsite I just pointed out is right back up there. As soon as you pass that, you better start looking to your right. because there's Jerry's Run Trail heading down the side of the mountain there. It's real easy to walk past it. In fact, I almost did until after you walk past it, you'll see this little sign here. It says Jerry's Run, take a right. That's pretty easy to miss. So anyway, here we go. We're going to have to drop down a little bit of elevation. I think the shelter site's down around 3,000 feet. I'm about 1/10 of a mile down Jerry's Run Trail, and now I'm starting to see a ditch right there. There's a trail, that's where I came from. And running right alongside here to the right, see that? Looks like a ditch. It's a little bit soft and mushy looking in there right now. But as we get down here a little further, it's probably going to start getting some water in it. I'm guessing that's Jerry's Run. I'll have to verify that when I get home. Excuse me, 2.9 miles into my hike. The elevation is 3,020. I've been dropping down a little bit, and this is where Jerry's Run Trail crosses Jerry's Run. That little ditch I showed you higher up, this is what it looks like now. There's hardly any water in it though. But I mean, it's been dry for a few days, and we're pretty high up on the mountain, so I mean, you could get, it's running a little bit. You could get water out of here if you need to. Now I'm going to keep heading down this way, and I'm expecting, I mean, according to my GPS, I'm within a couple hundred feet of where the shelter is. I don't see it, so, well, the shelter site. So I'm going to start looking for that. Three miles into my hike. The elevation here is 3,020 feet. And here it is, the site of the old Sexton Shelter. There's the concrete pad. And looks like it had a fireplace maybe on the front porch, because the fireplace is not on the pad. So probably the shelter there, and then on the front porch was a fireplace, and there's a ring of stones there which people are using now, fire ring. Back there's where I came from. I crossed over Jerry's Run, so Jerry's Run is just immediately behind this place. Over that way is more camping area. There's a large tent set up over there, dome tent, and there's a bunch of people over there. So I'll probably hang out over here. This is cleared out back in here, and that right there, that almost looks like a road that goes up that way. Or an old, the remains of an old road maybe. Who knows? But I'll get some still pics. I may set up my hammock. I brought my hammock just so I could sit and relax for a little while and enjoy the area. This is very remote. It's very quiet here. I don't hear any road noise. I don't hear any aircraft. So it's pretty nice. Not sure you can read that with the glare, but it says protect the slabs, no fires on the slabs, meaning that concrete slab right there. Okay, there's the fireplace. Here's the concrete slabs. I'm on the back side now. And right there's Jerry's Run. So that's how close your water is. Okay, here's part of Jerry's Run immediately behind the shelter area. It's the water is actually running. This is July 15th. It's the middle of the summer. And it's been pretty dry, but there's still a little flow there. And there's a little bit of a pond up there. And maybe right here you can see that's running pretty good. So the shelter's down that way, and up here 300-400 feet or so upstream, here's another fire pit, and that's pretty cleared out there. And up here it's cleared out also. Matter of fact, pardon my jiggly camera, but I'll come up here and show you, because this looks to me like this might have been the old road. There's another fire pit. I don't know, this kind of looks like the old road that would have come down here. Well, there's trees grown up now, but down there and headed down to the cabin. Alrighty, there you go. I set up my day hammock in between those two trees, and I'm gonna eat some snacks and enjoy the view. In case anybody's interested, this is my for day use. This is my standard setup. I use this 2,500 pound mule tape. They use it for pulling cables, large cables through conduits. And then I just attach it to the loop on this hammock using a sheet bend. Instead of letting the loose end come all the way through, I just pull it part of the way through like that, so that I can pull on this loose end and it'll just come loose real easy. So that's my suggestion for day use. Man, this place is just beautiful. I took off my boots. Give my poor feet a break here for a few minutes. Down there's the site of the old shelter. This was the second location for Sexton Shelter. The original location was way over in Shenandoah National Park, just below the Pinnacles picnic area. I'll try and explain more about that when I do the map talk. Over this way is Jerry's Run, just behind all that green stuff over there. And there's a lot of tall trees here. It's really nice here. It's beautiful. This is one of the nicest hikes I've taken all year. Of course, I got kind of put on hold there for a while with the COVID and all that stuff. There's plenty of places around here to camp, I can tell you that, and you got water here. So, I don't know. Nobody's camping on the pad right now. Concrete pad. Maybe they don't want you to. But, well, it would be softer back here where all the pine needles are. There's a lot of pine trees around here, and some of them are big. Big. I've seen some pretty big poplar trees too. So, there probably used to be, there probably was hemlock and chestnut trees in here too until they all got, you know, all of them probably pretty much killed off now. So, there's my day pack hanging on a tree. I got my dogs down there taking a rest. .6 miles into my hike. The elevation is 3,010, and I'm back to the Road Hollow turnoff. There's where I came from, and there's the side trail that goes down into Road Hollow, and I'm continuing on this way. Let's see, let me look at my GPS here. It's about 1.5 miles back to my car. This is a map of today's hike. It's two different quadrangle maps taped together. The left side is McDowell 1999, and the right side is West Augusta 1999. And I hiked along the ridgeline of Shenandoah Mountain to the former site of the Sexton Shelter. Now, this area is also known as Ramsey's Draft Wilderness. This red line is a US Route 250. Down this way is Stanton, Virginia. You come up the mountain along 250, and right here is at the very top of the mountain. This is where you park. And there's a sign here that says Fort Edward Johnson. This road existed during Civil War times, and the Confederate Army built a series of breastworks up here to defend the highway. So you park here, and you can do a 1/2 mile loop. There's an interpretive trail here around the breastworks if you're interested in that sort of thing. This is also the trailhead for the Shenandoah Mountain Trail. So you get on the Shenandoah Mountain Trail, and then what I did was I just followed. This trail basically follows the ridge line, and you pretty much stay up around 3,000, 3,100 feet the whole time. And you keep hiking north until you get to here. And then Shenandoah Mountain Trail continues on to the north like this, but you turn right on Jerry's Run Trail. And you follow this down the side of the mountain about maybe 3/4 of a mile to here. And this was the location of the Sexton Shelter. I'll tell you more about that in a second. So anyway, I set up my hammock here and enjoyed some time here, and then turned around and hiked back to my car here. Now, I didn't mark it on the map, but you'll see it on my GPS track. Right in here, there's a couple of decent okay, I'm not exact. No, it wasn't here. Must have been up this way a little more. Closer to the turnoff was a couple of pretty nice camping sites up here. So you can either camp down here at the shelter and have access to water because the creek runs right by the back of the shelter. Or you can, and this is about 3,000 feet, or you can camp up here around 3,100 feet up on the ridge line, but there's no water up here. Okay, a little bit more about the Sexton Shelter. This location here is the second location for the Sexton Shelter. The original location was in what is now called Shenandoah National Park. The first shelter was built in 1930, and if you're familiar with Shenandoah Park, it's below the Pinnacles picnic area. And it was named for Dr. Roy L. Sexton, who was one of the people who donated the money to get it built. When Shenandoah National Park was formed, they went down there in that area and they drilled a well to supply water up to the picnic area and also to a CCC, a Civilian Conservation Corps camp that was nearby. And the Park Service decided that this shelter was too close to the well, and they were a little concerned about contamination from the shelter, so they told PATC that they had to remove the shelter. So they took it out, and then they built the second shelter in 1938 in this area here where I just explained, right over here. And so they built that along Jerry's Run. So it was built in 1938. In 1966, it burned down due to a lightning strike. In 1968, they rebuilt it. This time they hauled in timbers from somewhere else using draft horses, and they pulled it in via the Shenandoah Mountain Trail, the same trail I hiked. And then somewhere along the line, this area got declared as a federal wilderness area, so then they had to go in and dismantle it in 1985. So today when you go there, the only thing you'll see is a concrete pad and the chimney. They're still there. But this is a real nice hike. This is a very pleasant trail to hike along. It isn't a whole lot of ascent. Let's see, it ended up being 6 miles and 757 feet of ascent. So it's not a lot of ascent for being in the mountains. But real nice hike. And one of these days, what I'm going to do, instead of parking at the top of the mountain, I'm going to park down here. There's a sign down here lower on the mountain that says Ramsey's Draft and Mountain House. You can park here and you can hike along Ramsey's Draft, which is a creek right here, for miles up this way. And if you go far enough, you'll get to the bottom of Jerry's Run and you can turn left and you can climb back up the mountain and get up to the shelter this way. And then if you want, you can just continue on you can continue on to here, and then you can turn left on this other trail here, which is called Road Hollow, and follow this back down to where you're parked. So that's another possible hike. And that was the hike for today.